All right, now we're gonna be looking at charts. All right, what's up with these charts, man? Kaspa is breaking down or what? So here we are. Kaspa's at around 6.5 cents. So this is after the capitulation event. Okay, Trump going crazy. Trump going ham. April 2nd was just insane. Tariffs, tariffs, tariffs. That's all you see. Tariffs on the news. Okay, what's up with these tariffs? So it seems like Trump is trying to implode the markets or what? Maybe, maybe. He's trying to get his billionaire friends to buy the dip. Maybe. But with Kaspa, where is it at right now? Well, it's extremely undervalued, and I'm not worried about it. But you got to just, be caution because this market is a little crazy, and it's going to be volatile. Bitcoin is hitting the low Bollinger on the bandwidth of its weekly chart, and that's great. That's very good to see. Seeing a support here, it could easily bounce back up. Test 95K, test 100K. It could easily do that. Okay. But especially down here, it's starting to form a little bit of a valley. It's slowly starting to, the sell pressure is starting to reduce. On the daily time frame, on the shorter time frame, and if it continues, this it's going to start looking something similar to this, and it can easily break out. So we're going to have to keep an eye on it. But it's something just to keep in mind. Like you look on the monthly, and you see that it is very heavily, it's bought up a lot. It's been bought up. And is it overbought? Well, it's hard to say exactly. Is gold overbought? Well, again, it's hard to say exactly because it certainly looks way overbought, okay? But we're in a time of economic distress. Like it or not, the economy is in a very uncertain time. And with tariffs left and right, Trump trying to bring rates down, you cut rates, this and that, and it's hard to say where things are going to go. So people flocked to gold. Right now, it's just heavily overbought. So that's just the premium. Gold is at a premium right now. Where is Bitcoin with respect to it? It's not at a premium. It's at a very, fair price, at its average macro uptrend. But when you look at it with respect to gold, there's a chance, okay? There's a chance it falls. There's a chance gold continues to rise or that Bitcoin wants to fall a little bit. So it's really tough to say, especially with it's touching its average. And here on the MACD, this is the monthly chart. It is looking like it may want to drop a little, okay? It's showing a sign, one red little bar there for the month of, April, okay? We're going to have to see where it goes in May and, just hope for the best. It may be just volatile and stick to this middle, trends with respect to gold, but that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping to see a nice little bounce here, but it's hard to say because it's has a lot of room to fall, especially if this red candle down here in the MACD wants to continue to develop into a large valley. Then we could see sort of bear market scenarios with Bitcoin with respect to gold. Am I worried about it? Not at all, because Kaspa thrives during bear market crashes. It absolutely thrives. And that's why we're seeing Kaspa with respect to Bitcoin looking absolutely primed. Oh, that's Nacho. That's why we see Kaspa with respect to Bitcoin absolutely primed. You can't get more undervalued than this. So if the market does crash, if Bitcoin does crash, feel safe in Kaspa, okay? This is the hedge against traditional blockchain technology. This is the hedge. This is the safe haven. This is the gold of crypto, okay? People want to say Kaspa is the silver. No, Kaspa is not silver. It is both. It is, first off, electronic digital cash, okay? If that's what you want to be, silver, all right, silver. Okay, call it silver. But it doesn't stop at silver. It has the same security as gold. It has the same security as Bitcoin, okay? It doesn't have any less security than Bitcoin. Okay, technically with the hashing power, it has less hashing power than Bitcoin, but a lot of Bitcoin miners are coming to Kaspa, especially through using nice hash, converting their Kaspa to Bitcoin with nice hash and gaining more profit that way. No, these are JEETs. These are mining JEETs that are just trying to take advantage of Kaspa, the fact that it's so efficient and profitable. But that's not going to last long. And we're at the absolute capitulation event for Kaspa because over 90% of the supply is already mined. And these we're going to be entering an era where it's going to rely heavily on, or more heavily on, these Kaspa transactions, the smart contract protocol, the day-to-day transactions to support these miners instead of the mission schedule of the mining rewards. So here we are with Kaspa with respect to Bitcoin. Can't get better than this. You literally can't get better than this. Yes, sure, it could. There's always a chance for wild things to happen. Could Kaspa drop down and touch this 5 cent mark? It certainly could. I mean, this is about, it already essentially did that here at 5.5 cents. Could have touched down here, and this is an excellent, I mean, you can't get a better buying opportunity than 5.5 cents. Even goes down to 5 cents. It has very large orders at 4.5 cents. You look on MEXC or other exchanges, there's a lot of big buy orders at 4.5 cents. So definitely expect, if it does crash down to those levels, it's going to rocket back up. When those orders get eaten up, these big entities are going to keep buying and buying, and they're going to want to see that as the bottom. So yeah, I mean, large entities are ready for a dip, ready for a crash. If it doesn't happen, they're going to be buying the pump, and it's going to FOMO the price even more. So we're going to really, it's basically a waiting game until the 10 BPS unlocks the crescendo hard fork, and this is where Kaspa is going to be much more approachable for tier 1 listings, because these listings aren't going to have to worry about upgrading their system to account for the 10 BPS change. They're going to have the 10 BPS change right off the bat, and they're not going to have to worry about any type of system update, system maintenance, or whatever they want to do with their transaction deposits, waiting a certain amount of confirmation time. They don't have to change things. Once the protocol hard fork is done, then that's a golden period for tier 1s to list. But they're also going to be looking at the market to see, what the sentiment looks like, the fear, greed index, things like that. And we're going to really have to see where Bitcoin is right now, because with respect to the stock market's getting smashed. I mean, it's not looking so hot for the stock market. And for the dollar, even the US dollar index, it's not looking good for that either. Like, the dollar is also getting low-key smashed. I mean, it was down like 2% today. So the dollar's going down. Gold even went down a little. Today was just, I mean, on the second, yesterday, even today, it was just a crazy volatile day for all assets. It was kind of expected. And we look back at that one chart where I showed in my last video, where it said April 2nd, this tariff day, was going to be a sharp dump. And that's exactly what happened, okay? Going into April 2nd, it was the dump. And between April 2nd and April 6th, with respect to the global economy, the global M2, now April 2nd to April 6th is where it predicts to be at this bottom, okay? It's going to be probably volatile for the next week. And after this next week, we'll see if it wants to follow the trend of the M2 global liquidity. We'll see if it wants to follow if that 108-day delay, if Bitcoin wants to follow it. It's been following it for the past like 3+ years to like an 80% accuracy, 75%, 80% accuracy. That's pretty cool. So we're going to see if we can still follow that. I'm not putting bets on it or whatever. I'm buying to hold. So that's how you should really play this event, this whole scenario, because at these prices, like, you can't get much better than that. So, Nacho doing work with their integrations and partnerships with Moon, what do you call it? That one platform, where they're going to basically be like, I don't know, like a pump.fun or whatever to make token launches very easy. Nacho is integrating with them, with their Nacho NFTs. You gain the income from the platform. You're going to gain a portion of that income by just staking your NFTs. You'll be able to stake all sorts of tokens as well. Here's Kango. Where's USD, Nacho. This is Nacho with Kaspa. Looking good. Kango hit the low Bollinger. Again, Kango couldn't be better, more as good priced as this. Even Nacho at this is a bit under its average, uptrend. This uptrend is starting to form a little bit of a floor. Even Kango, the floor is forming, and it's just like, you know, looking at the broader market. Where's Kaspa? It's down. It's very much down. Almost. It's basically a double bottom. So this double bottom can very well be bullish, but we want to sustain this. Okay, this is where market makers play on your fear. They want you to think that it makes sense to capitulate. They want capitulation to look very appealing. Once that capitulation event happens, that's when the bottom is in. Okay, and it's going to take time, but then the bull run starts from there, and that's where we're looking at, especially now in the next week, in the next coming month. Like, capitulation is going to be here, and if it's not already here, so just hold on your, like, sit on your hands and just know that long term we're solid. If Bitcoin wants to touch down to the 66K range, what are you going to do? Are you going to capitulate right at that 66K range on the next big drop? Are you going to capitulate when it comes down here? Are you going to sell your bag and then be, oh, I'll buy when it goes lower? Well, that's the lower, my friend. Like, if it doesn't happen, then you're solid. Like, so just sit on your hands. If you have spare, if you have 10% of your bag in stables, then fantastic. If a drop happens, then you could buy it up. If not, I mean, you can't get better than this with Kaspa. We already know Kaspa is the prime asset to have during market uncertainty, because we are most certain about Kaspa long term. Compared to anything and everything else, we are most certain about Kaspa long term and where it's headed long term. So that's why, without a doubt, I'm most comfortable in Kaspa, and especially its leading meme coin assets, because these are going to be the leverage on Kaspa. This is how you can 10x long Kaspa without the same risks as futures and the funding fees and liquidation risks. You buy your bag, you hold it, and you're good to go. So you know, it's going to take some time, but all of these top meme coins, you know, Nacho is the first fair launch meme coin on Kaspa. Kango, the first pixel animations of any meme coin, in the most high quality I've ever seen. You can't get better marketing than that. Like, you have Nacho doing absolute work with partnerships. Kango, just their animation. I enjoy watching them. I truly enjoy just seeing them, and it just makes me laugh. Like, you know, the recent one with it was like pulling like a kite or something like that. It's just so funny. Oh my gosh. Oh, where is it? Yeah, this thing. He's got some audio too. He's pulling, let the winds of Kas carry you higher, wave goodbye. It's just so cool. Oh my gosh, this video from Nacho too. Pretty cool. So it's like, you know, Nacho uses AI, but this AI is just, it's getting next level. Taking these images and like giving them movement, and it's very smooth too. It looks very good, very professional. I could see it like going down the line where they could be able to make like a very high quality movie if they wanted to, or like a series or show or something like that. Same deal with Kango, you know, being handmade and everything. They have so much freedom and creative freedom, and while their talent isn't just like with creating the animations, but it's just like the story behind the animations. I mean, look at this thing. How do you come up with stuff like that? Like, how do you come up with the idea to like, the Kaspa coin flips, you eat it, and then it just takes you to another realm of like paradise? Like, dang, man, that's deep. Yeah, I love all their animations. Like, this thing is so funny. The Cookie Monster, and he's eating that. Hey, yo! I can see this becoming a game, you know, the Kango game. But you love stuff like this because it helps bring more eyes onto the Kaspa ecosystem. Both, you know, Nacho and Kango. That's why I highly support both of them. I love what they're both doing, and it's hard for me not to appreciate the work they're doing. And no, I say the same about all the other KRC20 projects, especially the ones that are grinding, that are putting in the work to produce content or create engage their community. All of that really helps drive the Kaspa ecosystem, and it drives adoption in one sense or another, because these are like this is the way we really establish community outreach, adoption, things like that. It's like these memes are just a huge way to do that. You know, down the road, especially with like layer 2s releasing, Igra Labs, Casplex protocol, all these different layer 2s releasing, they're going to have their own ways. They're going to, they're going to have their own token. Like Egra wants to have its own token. It might have, a venture capitalist was even like looking at their, was meeting up with them. Like, yeah, 3 Surge Capital, looking at them and like, all right, let's see, meeting for their upcoming token. So looks like they're going to have like a VC on board with Egra Labs token. And, the token's going to make a profit. It's going to make good money. But you compare the tokens, like these layer 2 tokens, like for example, Egra, with the top memes on the given blockchain, or in this case, BlockDAG, they're going to have very similar market caps, with the memes reaching more of a max market cap than these layer 2 tokens. So you're looking at on average, like you compare Ethereum layer 2s, Ethereum meme coins, you look at Solana meme coins, and you look at across on average that these top meme coins perform better than layer 2 tokens. It might be because they can gain more broad support, more likable, easier to market, things like that. But Egra Labs is going to be one. They're going to have their own token. Definitely an investment opportunity. It's not something I'm going to prioritize. I might throw some bucks into it, but you already see VCs are trying to get on board, and that's where I draw the line. I'm all about that fair launch, and we'll see what Casplex wants to do if they want to release a token, because these tokens are just how the nodes that are running these layer 2s, it's how these nodes are going to be rewarded. They're going to be gaining a little bit of a fee, and that fee is going to be, converted in a way so it's essentially providing tokens to the validators as reward. Sorry, not the validators, the node operators. These node operators are necessary for these layer 2s. Like Egra Labs will need its own RPC node to run this layer 2 environment. So it's just like, it's going to be a topic for another time, but something to think about. And something that's like, I'm not as interested, especially compared to these KRC20, the launch of these KRC20 tokens, and where they have become now, especially so undervalued at this level. My money is in these meme coins. I like it here, and I love how they've been fair launched. No VC interaction with those type of entities, but that's where it's at. That has more max potential during a bull market. But we'll see, how things end up. But just wanted to give that quick update. Yeah, now.